Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. In a major infra boost to Bengaluru, Prime Minister Modi flags off Vande Bharat Express trains, also inaugurates other connectivity projects including Yellow Line of Nama Metro of IT City. India's Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan shares roadmap for integrated defence operations, says Operation Sindoor showcased tri-service synergy. Ahead of Trump-Putin meet in Alaska on Friday, Vance and Lammy host Ukraine talks, while EU leaders stressed need to protect Ukrainian security interests. Wildfires rage across southern Europe amid record temperatures, with thousands under evacuation orders. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Karnataka today to launch transformative infrastructure projects enhancing urban and regional connectivity. At the KSR railway station, he flagged off 3 Vande Bharat Express trains, Bengaluru Belagavi, Amritsar Shri Mata Vaishno Devi Katra and Nagpur Pune, boosting intercity travel with faster and modern services.
Nagpur Pune, Amritsar Shri Mata Bharat Mata Ki, Bharat Mata Ki, Vande Modi.
The Prime Minister also interacted with school children aboard the Vande Bharat Express in Bengaluru. The children expressed their excitement and gratitude for the opportunity to meet and interact with him. Further, PM Narendra Modi inaugurated the 19-kilometer yellow line of Bengaluru's Metro Phase 3 from RV Road to Bomasandra, costing 7,160 crore, expanding the city's metro network to over 96 kilometers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also took a metro ride to Electronic City and interacted with school children aboard the newly inaugurated metro line. Amid drum beats and joyous chants, PM Modi interacted and waved at the people who had gathered at the metro station to greet the Prime Minister. These initiatives, strengthening India's transport infrastructure, align with global urban mobility trends, fostering economic growth and connectivity while drawing international attention to India's infrastructure ambitions. As Prime Minister Modi travelled through Bengaluru during his Karnataka visit on Sunday, hundreds of people gathered on the side of the road to welcome him to the city. Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan has described the success of Operation Sindoor as a testament to the synergy and operational cohesion among the three services. Addressing the participants of the 21st Higher Defence Management course and senior officers at the College of Defence Management, Secunderabad, the Chief of Defence Staff shared strategic perspectives on jointness and integration in the armed forces and highlighted key takeaways for shaping the future roadmap of integrated operations. Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi has also spoken publicly for the first time about the planning and execution of Operation Sindoor. During the inauguration of Indian Army Research Cell at IIT Madras earlier this week, the Army Chief described the operation's strategy as similar to playing chess. He said Operation Sindoor operated in a grey zone, unpredictable and just short of a full conventional military engagement.
And of Sindoor, what we did, we played chess. Now, what does it mean? It means we did not know what is the next move the enemy is going to take and what are we going to do. This is something we called about the grey zone. Grey zone is that we are not going for the conventional operations, but we are doing something which is just short of the conventional operations. Conventional operations means go with everything, Clausewitzian approach. Take whatever you have. And if you are able to come back, it's okay, otherwise stay there. But that is the thing which we talk about the conventional approach. Here the grey zone is any activity which is taking place in all domains. That is something which we are talking about, and Ops Sindoor taught us that this is the grey zone. So we were making the chess moves. He was also making the chess moves. Somewhere we were giving him checkmate and somewhere we were kind of going in for the kill at the risk of even losing our own, but that's the way life is all about.
General Dwivedi said planning began on 23rd of April when the three service chiefs and the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh agreed that decisive action was needed.
22nd April, you are aware what happened in Pahalgam, and it actually shocked the nation. 23rd is the time when next day itself, we all sat down. And this is the first time which RM has also said, I think enough is enough. And all the three chiefs were very clear, something has to be done. And the free hand was given, of course, that you decide what is to be done. And that is the kind of a confidence with the political directions and political clarity for the first time we saw. And that's what made a difference, because we want to do a lot, but that kind of hand-holding and kind of free, no terms of restrictions, if I can say that. And that is what kind of raises up your morale. And that is how it helped our army commanders or commander-in-chiefs on ground to kind of act as per their wisdom.
An encounter broke out in North Indian Union Territory, Jammu Kashmir's Kishtwar, early hours on Sunday. The alert Indian Army troops established contact with terrorists in general area of Dul in Kishtwar in early Sunday morning. The troops were carrying out an intelligence-based operation when they established contact with terrorists. During the operation, both sides exchanged gunfire. More details awaited as the operation is under progress. The encounter in Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam district entered its 10th day today. 2 Indian Army soldiers martyred in marathon combat with terrorists. Over the past 10 days, few soldiers have sustained injuries during the gun battle, one of the longest ever. The forces are also using drones and attack helicopters to weed out the terrorists who appear to be well trained in jungle warfare. India's ambassador to the United States, Vinay Mohan Quatra, spoke to US Senator Lindsey Graham to share New Delhi's perspective on energy security. Sharing a social media post on X, Quatra shared the Indian perspective on energy security with Senator Graham, who previously said that helping US President Donald Trump end the conflict in Ukraine would be the most consequential thing that India could do. On the momentous occasion of Singapore's 60th National Day, Indian Navy's first indigenous survey vessel, large INS Sandhyak, arrived at the vibrant port of Singapore, reinforcing maritime cooperation and shared hydrographic interests between the Indian Navy and Singapore's maritime agencies. The three-day port call also demonstrates India's growing leadership in maritime diplomacy and regional hydrographic capacity building under the Indian Navy's Hydrographic Department framework. INS Sandhyak was commissioned in February 2024 in presence of the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. The ship has full-scale coastal and deep water surveying capacity and is capable of humanitarian operations with onboard helicopter and hospital functions. The Election Commission said it has delisted 334 registered unrecognized political parties which have failed to fulfill the essential condition of contesting even a single election for 6 years since 2019. The offices of these parties could also not be physically located anywhere. These 334 registered unrecognized political parties are from different states and union territories across the country. National political parties, state political parties and registered unrecognized political parties in the country are registered with the poll body under the provisions of the Representation of the People Act. Monsoon rains continue to lash parts of North India. The India Meteorological Department has issued alerts for Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Delhi NCR, Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The maximum temperature dropped to 26.4 degrees Celsius, marking the coldest August day in 14 years. Monsoon rains have wreaked havoc in Himachal Pradesh as intense downpour over the past few days has resulted in multiple cloudbursts, flash floods and landslides. The prevailing weather conditions have also disrupted transport. Several roads have been closed for vehicular movement across the state. Mandi is among the worst affected districts due to the calamity. The IMD forecast indicates heavy to very heavy rainfall will continue over sub-Himalayan West Bengal, Sikkim, Assam, Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh during the next 7 days. Updates now on natural calamity in Uttarakhand's Dharali. The Chief Minister of the Northern Himalayan state, Pushkar Singh Dhami, met State Governor Lieutenant General retired Gurmeet Singh at Raj Bhavan in Dehradun on Saturday. CM Dhami informed the governor about the current situation in the disaster-hit Dharali and Harsil villages. They also discussed the ongoing relief operations and the rehabilitation of the affected people. The Uttarakhand CM also made an announcement for the rehabilitation and relief of people affected by the recent disasters in Uttarkashi. According to a release by Chief Minister's office, immediate assistance of Rs 500,000 each will be provided for the rehabilitation of those whose houses in fact have been completely damaged or destroyed by the disaster in village Dharali. Formation of a 3-member committee has also announced for rehabilitation, overall revival and strengthening of the sustainable livelihood of the villagers affected by the disaster. A large amount of food and relief material is being sent to Harshil helipad for the affected people. More than 260 sorties have been made so far by helicopters deployed in the heli operation. Over 1120 people have been rescued from Dharali and Harshil so far. Flood prevention and disaster relief operations are in full swing across China, with legions of emergency responders deployed to ensure the safety of millions of people during the ongoing summer flood season. Rescue efforts are underway after continuous heavy rainfall triggered mountain torrents in northwest China's Gansu province, leaving 15 dead and dozens of missing so far. Meanwhile, the seasonal peak of China's flood season continues to threaten other regions. Firefighters battling a forest fire in southeastern Greece face a rapidly spreading blaze that is threatening homes in the towns of Keratia and Palaya Fokaia, about 50 kilometers southeast of Athens. At least one person died and homes and farmlands were destroyed on Friday as wildfires stoked by gale force winds broke out across Greece from near the capital to regions around the historical site of ancient Olympia. Greece and other Mediterranean countries are in an area dubbed a wildfire hotspot by scientists, with blazes common during hot and dry summers. These have become more destructive in recent years due to a fast-changing climate, prompting calls for a new approach. A wildfire in the southern French prefecture of Aude is not expected to be under control until late on Sunday, the regional chief firefighter announced. The fire, which began Tuesday, is one of the largest recorded in France since 1949. Spread around 40,000 acres, has led to one fatality, the injury of 19 firefighters and 6 civilians, and dozens of homes have been destroyed. French authorities have attributed the fire to the impact of climate change. An orange heat wave warning, the second highest warning level that encourages people to remain vigilant, is in effect for the department until midnight on Sunday. Wildfires also raging in Spain. More than 100 members of Spain's military emergency unit joined firefighters to put out wildfires. Dozens of residents were evacuated as the fire tore through 650 hectares of land. Europe is facing a new August heat wave, and concerns continue to grow over the impact of global warming, leading to extremely dry conditions in forests and bush areas. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Chad's former Prime Minister and opposition leader sentenced to 20 years in prison. Stay tuned to know more. Venezuela's National Assembly declares unwavering support for President Nicolas Maduro, rejecting a US bounty raised to $50 million for his arrest on drug trafficking charges. The Indian women's rugby team are in the semi-finals of the Asia Rugby Under-20 Sevens Championship.
Extreme heat, unseasonal rains, floods, droughts. These aren't just isolated weather events anymore. So today, through all our stories, we ask, how do we adapt? And whatever we do, will it be enough as the weather becomes more extreme?
We managed to get the IMD, and what we can create a WhatsApp group. We can have these market leaders in this WhatsApp group, and we can send these, IMD can send these alerts, these weather alerts every day in this WhatsApp group.
We have concentrated mostly on disaster management framing to tackle the problems associated with heat.
It's necessary in this humid heat, and we know that the summers are getting more and more relentless. It's an interesting initiative.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. European leaders on Saturday said the path to peace in Ukraine cannot be decided without Kyiv. A joint statement issued by leaders of Britain, France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Finland and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said they are convinced that only an approach that combines active diplomacy, support to Ukraine and pressure on the Russian Federation to end the illegal war can succeed. The statement was made by the day after US President Donald Trump said he would meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska on August 15 for Ukraine conflict. British Foreign Minister David Lammy and US Vice President J.D. Vance met Ukrainian and European allies in Britain on Saturday to discuss Ukraine peace talks. Lammy and Vance met with head of the Office of President of Ukraine Andriy Yermak and Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine Rustem Umerov. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer also spoke to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky ahead of the security meeting to discuss Trump's proposals for peace talk ahead of talks with his Russian counterpart in Alaska next week. President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday that the meeting of security advisors from Ukraine and its partner countries in Britain was constructive, adding that Kyiv's arguments were heard and taken into account. He reiterated that path to peace for Ukraine should be determined together and only together with Ukraine.
Були перемовини безпекових представників Сполучених Штатів Америки та Європи. Україна, Сполучені Штати, віце-президент Венс, Британія, Франція, Німеччина, Італія, Фінляндія, Польща. Зустріч була конструктивною. Наші сигнали всі передали. Наші аргументи чують. Небезпеки враховують. Шлях до миру для України має визначатися разом і тільки разом з Україною.
Iran on Saturday vowed to block the Trump route for international peace and prosperity, or TRIP, a US brokered corridor through Armenia linking Azerbaijan to its Nakhchivan enclave and Turkey aimed at boosting regional trade. The deal signed by Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev and Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan at the White House seeks to end decades of conflict. Iran's advisor Ali Akbar Velayati called it a graveyard for Trump's mercenaries, citing security concerns. Although Russia was excluded from the talks, it called for regional solutions, while Turkey welcomed the accord. Unresolved details, including Armenia's constitutional amendments, may hinder lasting peace. Supporters of former Chad Prime Minister Success Masra protested in N'Djamena on Saturday after he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for hate speech, xenophobia and inciting a massacre. Masra, a key opposition figure and critique of President Mohammad Idris Deby Itno, was convicted for his role in inter-communal violence that left 42 people, mostly women and children, dead in Mandako on May 14. The court also ordered him to pay a fine of about 1.5 million euros. His lawyers denounced the ruling, calling the trial politically motivated and lacking evidence. Masra was arrested 2 days after the violence and tried alongside nearly 70 others. Protesters from his Transformers party gathered following the verdict and announced Bedumra Kaur J as interim party leader. Venezuela's National Assembly declared unwavering support for President Nicolas Maduro on Sunday, rejecting a U.S. bounty raised to $50 million for his arrest on drug trafficking charges. The U.S. accuses Maduro of leading the Cartel of the Suns, alleging ties to narco-terrorism and groups like Tren de Aragua. Venezuela's Foreign Minister Ivan Gil called the bounty a pathetic propaganda stunt, accusing the U.S. of meddling. The move strains U.S.-Venezuela relations, already tense over disputed elections and sanctions. Allies like Russia and China may bolster Maduro, complicating international efforts to address Venezuela's economic and political crisis.
We reject the absurd and desperate actions announced by the Prosecutor's Office of the United States of America. Actions that are clearly illegal and entirely baseless. Beyond being a deranged attempt at aggression against the constitutional president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, and against our rebellious and courageous people.
The Fit India Sundays on Cycle campaign continues to gain ground in this series. An event was organized in New Delhi this morning. Union Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia attended this event as the chief guest. The special thing about the event was that several Gram Panchayats or village elected bodies also participated, with an aim to take the message of fitness to every nook and corner of the country. Every Sunday, various events are organized in which fitness enthusiasts undertake physical activities like Zumba, yoga, hula hoop and rope skipping, apart from cycling. Three-time Olympian shooter Sanjeev Rajput also became a part of the event, calling it a great initiative.
मोदी जी की फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट आज देश में संडे ऑन साइकिल के रूप में एक बड़ी मूवमेंट बन चुकी है। आज सारे देश में 50,000 से अधिक गांव में पंचायत प्रतिनिधियों ने संडे ऑन साइकिलिंग करके देश को फिट इंडिया का संदेश दिया है और मोदी जी की फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट के साथ अपने गांव को जोड़ा है।
Very happy that I have come here and joined this Sunday on Cycle because it's a part of the fitness routine, and I hope I will be there for the next time also. And I feel like this is the most energetic part one should do on Sunday.
The Indian women's team stormed into semi-finals of the Asia Rugby Under-20 Sevens Championship in eastern Rajgir town. After defeating Kazakhstan in their first match, India thrashed the United Arab Emirates in the second clash to advance to the last four. Captain Bhumika Shukla led from the front with 2 tries. Vice-captain Tanushri Bhosle added 1 and Muskan Piploda and Anshu completed the scoring against the Emirates team. The result ensured a semi-final berth before the team's final pool match of the day against Hong Kong, China. Rishabh Yadav clinched India's first individual medal at the 2025 World Games, securing bronze in the men's compound archery event in China. The 22-year-old outclassed senior teammate Abhishek Verma with a score of 149 to 147 in a high-quality bronze medal match in Chengdu city. Yadav maintained a slender lead from the beginning, showing remarkable composure to finish with 9 consecutive perfect tens. His semi-final run was halted by American Curtis Lee Brotnax. And Chief Minister of Gujarat, Bhupendra Patel, along with Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhupender Yadav, attended World Lion Day celebration at Bada Wildlife Sanctuary in Dwarka, Gujarat. World Lion Day, celebrated annually on 10th of August, aims to raise awareness about the conservation and protection of lions worldwide. In Gujarat, the Asiatic lion is a unique ecological and cultural treasure found only in the Saurashtra region. The ministry and the state's consistent efforts under Project Lion and the leadership of the Gujarat government have made significant strides in ensuring the survival and growth of this iconic species. That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on your screens to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.